On the 4th of July, a group of friends took a boat out to a wild, empty island off the Mississippi coast. Only one of them would not come home. His name was Nolan Wells. He was 18. This week, a recording surfaced from that day obtained through a public records request. Not a rumor, not a screenshot, a real call from the boat.
We're sinking. Can y'all please come?
Is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
I'm Demi Thorne, and this is Darkly Retold. Everyone is on board. That is what the person on the boat told a towing company as it took on water, and yet Nolan Wells was not on that boat when it reached the dock. He was still on the island. That gap between what was said and what happened is why this case has drawn a civil rights attorney, the FBI, and a grand jury referral, and why so much of what you've seen online about it is wrong. So let's do this carefully. Here is what the evidence actually shows, and here is what it doesn't. Before he was a case, Nolan Xavier Wells was a kid from Ocean Springs, a 2025 high school graduate, a wide receiver, good enough that he'd signed to play college football at Southwest Mississippi Community College, where coaches had just named him the most improved player on offense. The people who coached him and played beside him keep reaching for the same words. Quote, "The kindest soul who never met a stranger." His mother's words. His high school coach said Nolan's character spoke louder than his stats. That is the person at the center of this, not a headline. An 18-year-old with a signing photo who, on a college visit, asked his coaches if his younger brother could dress out in a teen uniform too. Before any of the arguments about evidence, there is a mother, Christine Wonsley, in her own words.
Planning for his funeral doesn't feel real.
He would not want us to be sitting around crying. So what we're going to do is kind of have a party to celebrate him.
The destination was Horn Island. If you don't live on the Gulf Coast, picture this. A long, thin strip of federally protected wilderness, several miles out in the Mississippi Sound. You can only get there by boat. There is no docktown, no store, no fresh water, and, importantly, no cell service. On the morning of July 4th, the group left a private dock and ran out to the island. Nolan was one of several friends on the trip. For a few hours, it was an ordinary holiday on the water, and then the day stopped being ordinary. Here's the part we can actually stand on, because some of it is backed by boat data reviewed by CBS News. The last confirmed sighting of Nolan on the island was around 3 in the afternoon, and at some point that afternoon, the boat took on water. Listen again.
We're sinking. Can y'all please come?
Investigators haven't said exactly when that call happened, or how it connects to Nolan being left behind. What the data does fix in place, the boat left the island at 4:31 p.m., and Nolan was not on it. It was back at the dock by about 6. And then, a gap. It was around 11 that night that a friend on the boat reached the Coast Guard and reached Nolan's mother. She called law enforcement close to midnight. By then, Nolan had been alone on a wilderness island with no phone and no cell service for the better part of a day. Why he stayed, why his phone was on the boat, and what happened in those hours, those are the questions everything else in this story circles. The search that followed was large. The Coast Guard, the National Park Service, Mississippi Marine Resources, the Sheriff's Office, and volunteers with the United Cajun Navy all joined in. Boats and aircraft working the island and the water around it. On the morning of July 6th, a National Park Service ranger found a body in the water off the island's western tip. It was Nolan. The coroner confirmed his identity through dental records. For his family, the not knowing was over. Every other question was just beginning. Before we get to what the authorities are saying, if this story matters to you, take a second, like the video, follow the channel, and tell us in the comments what you think happened. It genuinely helps us keep digging. From early on, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office has been careful about its language. It is investigating this as a death, not a homicide. And its working understanding of why Nolan wasn't on the boat is this.
Full information that's been helpful to figuring out what happened?
Yes, sir. We're getting very useful information, and we appreciate the public coming forward.
Nolan's mother says planning.
The sheriff has also said that, as of now, there is no information indicating a crime occurred. That statement came before the autopsy results were back, and it is exactly where the family parts weighs with the official account. Nolan's parents do not believe their son's death was an accident. They hired attorney Ben Crump, and their concern starts with something simple, a rule Nolan grew up with. His father's rule was simple: if you go with 5, you come back with 5. After the family met with the district attorney, Ben Crump announced one concrete step. Listen to him.
We also agreed that we will have a mutual inspection of the cell phone with our experts and their experts.
And Crump went further. His words, not ours.
In America, in the South, certain people are investigated differently.
The family points to the phone left behind, and to what their attorney says are inconsistent accounts from the friends about whether Nolan meant to stay or meant to come back. Those are concerns, not proof of a crime, and the friends have cooperated, and none has been charged. But what do you make of those two accounts? Tell us in the comments. We read everyone. Which brings us back to the recording, the newest piece of this, and the most misunderstood. So let's be precise. Here is what that audio does establish, that the boat had a genuine mechanical emergency on July 4th, that it was taking on water, and that someone aboard told a towing company everyone was on board. And here is what it does not establish, no matter how it's being packaged elsewhere. It does not tell us how Nolan became separated from the group. It does not tell us how he died. It does not tell us when that call happened in relation to him being left behind. And it is not evidence of any crime. It's a piece of a timeline, not a verdict. The same discipline applies to everything else swirling around this case. The FBI is helping examine digital evidence and, in its own words, working to address interstate threats received by individuals related to this matter. Read that again. People connected to this case, including the friends who are on the island, are receiving threats. A video that went viral supposedly showing an argument was clarified to be a friend, not Nolan. And investigators have warned that some clips going around, including of Nolan's own mother, are AI-generated fakes. None of that is evidence. It's noise, and the family's attorney has asked for the one thing that could cut through it. Put every relevant fact before the grand jury. Nothing held back, nothing overlooked. So honestly, here is what we still do not know. We do not know Nolan's cause of death. Both the state autopsy and the family's independent autopsy are done, but the results have not been released. We do not know why he stayed or why his phone didn't. We do not know what, if anything, the phone review will show, and we do not know what a grand jury will decide. What we do know is what's coming. The district attorney, Angel Myers-Musilrath, plans to bring the findings to a grand jury once the investigation is finished. And it's worth being clear-eyed about that step. In Jackson County, unexplained deaths routinely go to a grand jury. It is a review. It is not, by itself, an accusation against anyone. Beyond the courthouse, this has become a national story. The Reverend Al Sharpton is set to officiate Nolan's service. The independent autopsy was funded by Colin Kaepernick, his funeral by Tyler Perry. But strip the famous names away, and you're left with the thing that started all of this. An 18-year-old who went to an island with his friends on the 4th of July and didn't come back. His family says they simply want to know what happened. That is not too much to ask, and when there are real answers, verified ones, we will come back and tell you those too. I'm Demi Thorne. This has been Darkly Retold.